thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the Blade Boys to debrief on the events that unfolded in Oberstdorf, Germany at the Nebelhorn Trophy, one of the first premier events of the ISU Challenger Series. We're going to delve now into the ladies event, and I think actually coming off, by the way, I'm Ted Flett, and I'm here with
Myth Das.
And I think Myth coming off I think Myth coming off of last year's Nebelhorn Trophy, when Elizaveta Tuktamisheva used it to kick off a golden season, I think it really reshaped how skaters approach this event and look at it and leverage it to bring success all season long. And I think the stakes are now slightly higher, that if you can win with a commanding performance the Nebelhorn Trophy, could mean good things for your future if you choose to make it so. So I think we have to talk about, first and foremost, Kaetlyn Osmond of Canada, the two-time Canadian national champion, making her return from a massive injury, breaking her leg. Myth, when I first got to the arena and I saw her in the practice rink warming up, I was astounded. This skater does not look like she's missed a beat at all. I think her jumps actually look stronger and even more consistent than ever. Her triple flip, triple toe looks like it's a jump that she's been landing, a combination she's been landing
good.
for years. It looks
really good.
Fantastic. The run out, the speed into that program, and her confidence and posture, and the run out of the triple toe is phenomenal. I think it's almost unprecedented or unrivaled right now on the ladies scene. And of course, she's also introduced the triple loop to her repertoire. She said that this is a program or a jump that she introduced or got the knack of after the Olympic Games, heading into the 2014-2015 season, which of course went awry due to the leg break, and she worked to get it back. And in fact, because she was trying to stay off her left leg, it was the loop, trying to stay off her takeoff leg. It was the loop, lutz, and flip that she was landing more consistently. So that actually gave her a lot more mileage on the loop, and it looks like a phenomenal jump. Hopefully we'll have a clip of that here, because we got a sensational clip of her landing the loop in practice. She didn't attempt it in competition, but we have it, and it also looks like a phenomenal jump that's been a go-to jump for her for years. Interestingly, and I think just like the other comebacks that we're seeing this season, in competition itself, Caitlyn was a different skater. In the warm-up, she had a heck of a tumble on going into the triple flip, which I got on video. It's amazing.
Oh, she doesn't want to relive that. Okay,
I know.
Miss Caitlyn, hide your eyes from that one. Okay, that is not doing her any favors.
Totally, Caitlyn, I'm so sorry, but it is a really good tumble to watch. Like, she just goes barricading into the boards, and it was interesting. I think she might have
some good clips of her combo too.
I think she might have hurt her. Yeah. She might have hurt her elbow, which I felt quite badly for her in that. But
she's fine. She's got another one. So
yeah, it was really interesting to be there in live watching that, because it had been a pretty positive day with Elijah Bald. Or it was a strong event generally for the Canadians. Michael Slipchuk, the director of sport performance for Skate Canada, was there, sort of at the back, on the back wall. Rafi Walia was there at the boards. Everything was going smooth as silk. Caitlyn was, generally practicing, not generally, Caitlyn was practicing incredibly well for the week that she was there. This was the first mishap there had been, and it was a doozy. And it's like the tone and the body language by him and Michael Slipchuk really changed. It was like, okay, this is now a different kind of warm-up than we were expecting. This is about getting her to calm down, to get into the ice, to find her knees, to sort of take a deep breath.
Because girl's got a lot of energy. She knows how to sell a performance, so she channels that energy really well.
Mm-hmm.
But this program...
Sometimes it can be hard to contain.
Right.
And that's saw the warm-up, and then, unfortunately, the performance.
Now, do you think, like in the performance, yes, she missed the first combo, but then she nailed a beautiful lutz after. Do you think the type of program like Le Bien Rose, which is a little more calmer and softer, that a softer version of Caitlyn that we're not used to seeing, do you think that sort of helped calm her down after that spill in the warm-up? Like, it sort of like her first combo, she might have still had a little too much energy, nervous energy, but then after that, she sort of settled into the program.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder if that had been the mambo, the mambo
Oh
routine,
yeah,
or like Aussie, things could have things really could have come undone. But
right.
because it's Le'Veon Rose, which is a really different side. I mean, we're used to very dynamic, spirited, short programs from Caitlyn. She's trying to find a more graceful, softer side. It came off an exhibition program that she choreographed in 2014 that was softer and gentler. She skated with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. She got some really positive feedback that confirmed for her, hey, I guess I do have a softer side.
Yeah.
And so she's exploring more of that in competition with this version of Le'Veon Rose. I thought it was a lovely, I think it's a lovely program. I still have to transition from not seeing, really, a bunch of fast twitch muscles working around, and
Right.
I loved her
And a
short program
little shimmy, right?
completely. I
Well,
mean,
it's funny because La Vie en Rose, I believe this version is Cyndi Lauper who actually sings this like glorious version of La Vie en Rose. And Cyndi herself is, you know, she's known to be she gets a little bit excited and a little bit energetic and a little cray herself, right? So,
she can.
so it's interesting that like, somebody who has a lot of energy and is a huge performer can sort of rein it in and deliver a more finessed, more elegant program rather than a highly energetic, uh, like mambo type program that
Yeah,
uh, exudes a lot of like energy and enthusiasm, but then kind of giving something softer. And this actually set herself up nicely for her long program, which is a lovely tango medley. I mean, she's done Carmen before, but this is definitely like a sort of sassier, like sharp, edgy side. She kind of was giving me shades of like Angelika Krylova. Like she had this like really nice, like really sharp attitude to her. I mean, I didn't see the little Beelman over the head thing, which I totally missed. Please bring that back, Caitlin.
I
I
know,
love
but
that thing. That was a great move.
Tatiana Velociger has that.
She did have that. I noticed that.
She picked
I'm
that
like,
move up.
girl, she picked that up.
Did you?
They're
Yeah,
trading secrets, right? Like
totally. Did you call Caitlin and ask her permission on that?
to Russia with love. Okay, so
Yeah.
but yeah, I think she delivered a really solid free skate. She did a triple flip double toe to open instead of the triple triple, which I think was very smart because it set herself up nicely for a really strong double axel triple toe. And I think that was the important element to hit in this program because that is that's like the triple triple. Like that's the element that really defines that, hey, this is a top level program and this can be a top level program, especially when she will eventually hit that triple triple, which I have no doubt she will. But it really set herself up nicely for the rest of the program, where she hit her luts. She had a couple issues with like her second flip and her sauerkraut doubling it, but the important thing was that she got the performance out there and she showed everyone that like, hey, I'm here, I'm back. She nailed it. Like in terms
Yeah.
of like artistry, like she got a personal best
Mhm.
for a total competition score and also for the free skate. So I think that was a
Yeah.
huge victory and a huge sigh of relief for her and her team. And of course, coming off of Elaj Balde's win, I'm sure she also had a little bit of confidence, knowing that like, hey, one Canuck's already gotten a singles title here, so we'll go for the double, like men's and
Mhm.
ladies. And I think she nailed it, and I think she really cemented herself as definitely a contender on the Grand Prix series, where she'll be competing in Skate Canada and NHK.
Yeah.
So we actually have an interview with her where she actually talks a little bit more about her programs and her goals this season. But I think, hey, kudos to you, Caitlin, comeback queen. Like, the comeback is back. Like, she
Yeah.
is ready, especially with the practice video. She is ready to take on the world this year.
I think that it's. I think it was a generally a strong long program. The long program I think also helped confirm for her that she could shake the demons that unfolded in the short program, and they don't have to haunt her going into the long. I would have liked to seen her break into the 120s. She's kind of pushing the 120 mark or score for the long program, whereas Elizaveta last year at Nebelhorn She was in the high 120s. She was pushing towards the 130s, and then she got even into 140s later on in the season. So, but given Caitlyn is coming back to competition, similar to Elizaveta, she was, off for a while or had difficulties, of course, with her injury. I think this is great and puts her in a good spot.
And I think like once she gets the triple and once she like turns that double Salchow into a triple and like those are probably about 6 points she kind of left on the table, which is fine because at least it wasn't an error that marred the rest of the program. Once those are added in, like she'll definitely be scoring in the mid 120s, maybe even cracking 130. Like I got high hopes for her, but I think she can definitely do it. And her component score of 61 after for that free skate was really, really positive to see. Like when you're scoring in low mid 60s, that shows that you're a contender. And once you add the technical aspects to it, you can definitely hang with the big girls. And I think, well, the top girls, none of them are big girls. Okay, we're big girls, but they are not big girls. Totally. They are little girls who are very athletic. And I wish I had my metabolism as a teenager again, because I will definitely never be ever in as good shape as that. But good for them.
Caitlyn, you gave your over the head spiral to Tatiana. Right. Give us your metabolism, please. Yeah, okay. So next on the podium was Elena Leonova of Russia getting the silver medal.
Again, she repeated from last year.
Yeah, I can't be as positive as I am with Caitlyn in terms of her fortune for this season. She came off a crappy skate at test skate in Russia. She made a real amateur error botching the layback spin in the short program. She missed the double flip, or missed both flips, I believe, in the long program. I think she ran out of gas towards the end of the long program. Mm-hmm. This is not the same skater that we saw win the silver medal at the World Championships in 2012. I think if you're a Russian woman, you need to come out, all guns a-blazing right from the get-go, and she's having a real sputtered start to her season.
I mean, I think my thing with Alona Leonova is that I love Alona because she is in the Shark Tank. She is in Russia ladies. That is not where you want to be as a single skater because the level of competition is so intense, even as a world silver medalist. But I think she's still making efforts to improve. She nailed her triple in the beginning of her long program, and I think, she also nailed her triple Lutz after. So she had a strong opening. It was when she got to her triple flip that I think she started losing her focus and her confidence. And I mean, even after that, she still fought. She still landed her triple Salchow series after that. So everyone counts out Alona Leonova every year, and she always comes back and surprises us in some way. I mean, she medaled last year on the Grand Prix circuit as well, which I think a lot of people didn't expect her to be one of the Russians who would.
Well, medal. in a weak field, to be honest, at NHK.
Right, but I think the point is that where a lot of people could hang up their skates and be like, hey, I am a world silver medalist. Now I'm surrounded by all these girls who can reel off triples in their sleep, and. Alona she's not a spring chicken anymore, even though she definitely skates with a lot of exuberance and a lot of youthfulness. A lot of people would totally cop out after that, but I do admire her for sticking with it and actually trying to up her game. She's trying to incorporate her triple flip, triple toe. It's not quite there. Again, Caitlyn Osmond, she's trying to do harder triples, and she's doing a sort of comeback of her own, and I think. While it might be easy to say that hey, she didn't give as great a performance as she's given in the past, I'm pretty sure for her she views this as a victory. It's not her best skate, but I think a silver medal to open up the season at a Senior B event, it'll definitely help her world ranking. I think it is a strong start for her. It's not the strongest start in general, but I'm just saying that people really shouldn't give up on Alona Leonova quite yet, because she's definitely that Russian skater on the outskirts of the favorites who has the potential to surprise. If anything,
On the outskirts of the favorite.
well, you have Tuktamisheva, you have Radionova, you have
Oh
Medvedev.
yeah, you don't have to tell me.
You have there is that the whole Russian top 10 could be the world top 10. But like for her to continue on, I think that's something that's truly admirable. And like I always smile when I watch her skate, and I think she had some great programs this year that show off her strengths. But again, it's all about having to land the jumps. And another skater who was able to sort of land the jumps was Courtney Hicks, who managed to capture the bronze medal in. This is, I believe, her first senior international medal. So we have an interview with Courtney Hicks that is where she sort of talks about winning the bronze medal and some of her elements. But I think that was also a strong showing for Courtney in coming out this season and showing off some really fun, really interesting programs.
Yeah, I think similarly, a skater who exists in the Shark Tank is one like Courtney Hicks, who has to fight against the incredible depth in American ladies skating. I do like her gumption, and I generally like her jumps. I find that she has a very tight landing position. It really curls, and she's not able to get that sort of nice run of edge coming out of her fantastic triple-triple combinations or her triple-triple sequences. And I would like to see her work on that a little bit, just to show off and stretch out some of those landings. But I do like her Golden Age free skate. I think it's character pieces for her, like Evita in past years, are obviously something that she feels quite comfortable with. I think this is a good one. I think this probably does set her up relatively well going into the remainder of the season.
I also love her short program to The Feeling Begins, which is, something Michelle Kwan's done, something that Oksana Bayul has done with her little fabulous bottle. Hello, and her hair and pants. So I think she has two really nice contrasting programs that will set herself up nicely for the rest of the season. And the other American skater that we should talk about is Mirai Nagasu, who had unfortunately a disastrous short program where she got really nailed by under rotations. I mean, this system is brutal if you under rotate or downgrade a jump, as what happened with her triple axel. Kudos to her for going for it. I mean, it's early in the season, and at the Blade Boys, we have a saying where we say the haters gonna hate, but the skaters gonna skate. So there are a lot of people hating on her, being like, oh well, she's not even close to landing that. Like, she's under rotated or whatever. I mean, this is the first season that she's really trying this out. She put it out in competition. I mean, props to her. I mean, her attempt was actually pretty good, even if it was downgraded. She was still upright. She still went for it. Like, the commitment was definitely there. So I think as she trains that element, if she can even get it to under-rotate it, but with a clean landing, that'll still get about 5 points, which is more than what a regular double axel would get. So the risk is there. It's kind of like Adam Ripon's quad lutz. If you downgrade it, obviously it's not worth it. But if you can get it to an under-rotated version of it, then it's worth more than the next lower tier of drum.
Yeah, and she landed a few under-rotated that we captured in practice, which we can also post up here. Her coach, Tom Zagryszczuk, said that she's landing them even cleaner or further around back home in practice. I think Mirai she's working that triple axel to try and rise to the top of a ladies skating like Hillary Clinton is working at getting her way into the White House. Like, she is fierce and ferocious on that jump. She tried it and worked it multiple times every day on practice. Elena Chartrand and Courtney Hicks were also working the triple axel, but only went at day one. I think it was more a look at me sort of strategy with the judges and with the skating community. And then by day two, on the day of competition, it was all right. Let's get down to the triples that we're actually going to, or the jumps we're going to compete with in competition. Whereas Mirai was still plugging it away. Sure, there were some mistakes in the short program. I think it's the first program though that she's ever skated where she attempted the triple axel, so I give her lots of room to become accustomed and comfortable to, attempting that jump and maybe botching the landing, and how that then adjusts her focus for the rest of the program. She said afterwards, when she was talking about the triple axel, she said, "It's a jump I need to do to compete with the world champion." Mm-hmm. So even though Mirai has not been to the World Championships since 2010, when she won the Ladies Short program, she still views herself and views her skating as something which needs to reach the world caliber. And I think that's fantastic for a skater who has not been on the world scene to that level in many years. So clearly the drive is still there to keep pushing, and good for her for pushing the technical boundaries. I think that her long program was also, I think it's innovative and lovely to The Great Gatsby. I think the music choice is excellent. Some of the cuts are a bit rough and they're a bit jarring. I don't know if they can smooth that out a little bit more. She really got dinged on the program components in the free skate. I think there's an awful lot of cross cuts and some simple three turns that she could jazz up. There's also some, her choice or her approach to musicality and expression could be varied a little bit. I find her face can be quite expressionless at times, and she could bring a bit more expression there.
I think part of that is like, the focus going into the jumps. Like sometimes a program can get away from you because you're focusing so hard to land the tricks. Like we sort of saw it with Mariah in the Nationals, where unfortunately she didn't make the Olympics, but she delivered a really solid free skate. And I think she came under a bit of criticism because the program itself was not so much there, because the focus was on getting the jumps. And honestly, in figure skating, that is like long-standing. That has been the fundamental thing. And it's really hard to get all the technical elements off and still deliver a performance. But that is something that Mariah has worked on, and that is something that will come with the season. I think her free skate ending up second in the free skate gave her a lot of confidence. It sort of cemented herself as like, hey, I can compete definitely with Courtney, who's also doing pretty well this season. But I think she showed that, like, hey, I'm not going to give up. She almost actually made the podium. Like, if not for
she was second. She was second in the free skate. She was competing with Caitlyn.
And if not for her under rotating her double axel triple toe, like the triple toe part of it, like had she gotten a little bit more rotation, it comes down to that, like a quarter of a rotation, or like a couple of degrees. That'll determine like going from 11th to 3rd or 11th to 5th. And either way, I think Mariah should be very proud of herself with putting the axle out there. Haters going hate, skaters going skate. Like, she went for it. So kudos to her. And I don't want that to discourage her, even though she herself acknowledges that it might not have been the best decision. I think it was still, it showed some competitive fire, and that's what we really want to see from Mariah and from all these skaters this early on in the season.
Yeah, I think she really redeemed herself in the free skate. A couple of under rotations, yes, those can be corrected. They've been a problem that have been plaguing her for a couple seasons now, so they're serious and they need to be addressed. But she rotated everything, 3 rotations on all the attempted triples, lots of clean landings despite true under rotation. So I think she's in good shape and has signaled to the world that, once again, she can't be counted out. And she is such a polarizing figure. She has legions of fans that absolutely adore and cherish her. On the reverse, there are haters that just want to see her, clearly throw in the towel, as we've seen in some of the comments and the videos that we've posted of Mariah. Right. Discussion. But here at Blade
Don't
Boys,
even listen to them, Mariah. They just hating. They just hating. They ain't skating. So you do your thing, okay? That's what the Blade Boys say to you, okay?
Totally. We are big Mirai Nagasu fans. If we had a sponsor, it'd be Mirai Nagasu. The Blade Boys, brought to you by Mirai Nagasu.
Brought to you by
I think we need to wrap up this summary with a quick touch on Elaine Chartrand. I tell you, in practice, she was having a miserable week. Really struggled in practice on the jumps. Of the 3 ladies attempting triple axel, hers was the most problematic, and she went down almost on, well, essentially she went down at every attempt. It's far too underrated to, I think, compete or introduce into competition. However, in the short program, we saw a very new and different side of Elaine. She shook off the difficulties she had in practice and in warm up. She delivered a very strong short program and landed herself in second. I thought her choice of music to Pina, which of course was the music that the German pairs, our friend Leona, skated to in the 2011-2012 season, was a bold choice, given that that music is so synonymous with them and their strong skating. And I think she's still developing her strength and her speed and maturity. But I thought generally I liked the music. I think Gone with the Wind fits her like a glove. Like one of I thought it was an excellent free skate. Yes, she had a couple problems. I think those can be ironed out. I think she did enough there to signal to Gabby Daleman, for example, that there's going to be. I mean, no one has to prove this. There's going to be stiff competition for those two spots in the Canadian World's team.
Which, Caitlyn, by the way, she nailed getting those two spots. So kudos to Elaine for keeping two spots for Canada.
That's right. And Elaine is, she's definitely going to be in the hunt for one of those spots.
I think so too. I think she's a great skater, and I think she's really at the Toronto Cricket Club. She'll definitely be surrounded by some really talented skaters and some really great coaches and team. Like her team is really behind her, and she's going to surprise a couple people this season and prove that like her bronze at Cup of Russia last year wasn't necessarily a surprise. I think it might be a precursor for things to come. And one quick skater I just quickly need to mention, because I know there are a lot of Japanese fans who are thrilled that they had an entry, Mariko Kihara, at Nebelhorn, and Mariko actually did really well. Like, she had a short program where she nailed a triple. She got her other triple. Unfortunately, her spin didn't happen, which was the big error. But then in her free program, again, she nailed both triple lutzes. She doubled her flip, but she also nailed her triple loop and her triple side. Like, she had one of the strongest technical showings of the ladies' event if you factor in short program and long program. And if not for her Zayak double axel and her missed spin in the short program, she would have actually been on the podium. So even though she did end up fifth or sixth, I think it was a nice debut for her as well, and it was a nice little treat for Japanese fans to see that, hey, we have some young talent on the horizon who can perform with the big girls, the little girls who are not big.
There you go again. Absolutely, yeah. It'll be interesting to watch that skater, and I mean, again, talk about a Shark Tank with a few piranha and killer squid in there. The Japanese field is also just brutally cutthroat. It's going to be tough for anyone to make that world team with the return of Mao Asada. So all in all, a really interesting women's event with some great signals of what's potentially to come over the course of the season. So thanks so much for listening and watching.
Thanks. And if you want to check out other disciplines for Nebelhorn, we have links here as well. So thank you for listening.
Okay, thanks.